where the ego actively represses all the undesirable aspects of your experience. Literally every time you have a thought, a feeling, or an urge that doesn't quite fit your ideal public image, your ego just filters it away and drops it into this hidden storage room. Sure, it's out of sight, but it definitely doesn't disappear. It actually continues to secretly push and pull on your conscious life. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is where Jung radically broke away from Freud, and honestly every other psychologist of his time. He didn't just stop at the personal level of repression. He introduced his most profound insight yet: the collective unconscious. He defined this as an inherited reservoir of universal psychological predispositions and memories, all formed by human history. Jung proposed that way beneath your personal memories and your personal repressions, there is this massive, shared psychological basement that literally belongs to all of humanity. So, how on earth did a shared basement get there in the first place? Well, he argued it's the result of an unbroken chain of psychological imitation that goes all the way back to the dawn of humanity. Think about biological evolution, but for the human mind. Consciousness developed really slowly and laboriously over untold ages, and each generation essentially just imitates the behaviors, the fears, and the structures of the previous one. Over millennia, this formed a vast reservoir of predispositions that every single human being automatically inherits the moment they're born. It's literally the accumulated psychological history of our entire species, hardwired right into your brain from day one. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, that sounds wildly mystical. Where is the empirical proof for any of this? Well, Jung actually found the evidence absolutely everywhere. On one hand, he was analyzing the dreams and unconscious ramblings of his modern psychiatric patients right there in Switzerland. But on the other hand, he was researching ancient myths, art, and literature from entirely disconnected global cultures that lived thousands of years apart and had literally never interacted. And the result? He found the exact same motifs, symbols, and themes appearing in both. The delusions of his isolated modern patients perfectly mirrored the ancient myths of isolated tribes. Mind-blowing, right? He called these shared ancient symbols archetypes. Basically, archetypes are these universal psychic structures and shared motifs that form the absolute basis of human personality. They're like the predisposing cognitive tendencies within that shared psychological navigation software we were talking about earlier. Think of them as the blueprints of human experience. Things like the universal idea of the hero, the mother, the trickster, or the wise old man. We don't actually learn these concepts from scratch as we grow up. We are actually born with the psychological molds for them already formed deep, deep down.